Psychology during early period was studied as a part of philosophy. The origin of psychology is from Greek philosophy. The etymological meaning of psychology is the science of soul. The word psychology was derived from two Greek words. One is psyche and another one is logos. Psyche means soul and logos means study of or science of. Psychology basically considered as study of soul, then study of mind, later study of consciousness, finally considered as study of behavior. Study of behavior was considered as modern psychology. J.B. Watson is the father of modern behaviorism. Watson claims psychology is the study of behavior. Woodworth said, first psychology lost its soul, then it lost its mind and consciousness, and now retained its behavior of a sort. The soul and mind are abstract in nature, so they cannot be studied empirically. Psychology as a science includes experiments, observation, and measurements. The term behavior in definition of psychology is used as individuals' feelings, attitudes, thoughts, and mental processes, and it covers both covert and overt behaviors. Branches of psychology. Psychology can be broadly classified into pure psychology and applied psychology. Branches of pure psychology, they are general psychology, abnormal psychology, developmental psychology, social psychology, differential or individual psychology, physiological psychology, experimental psychology. Branches of applied psychology, they are educational psychology, clinical psychology, industrial psychology, military psychology, and legal psychology. Okay, let us understand branches of pure psychology one by one. First one is general psychology. It is the study of behavior of normal human beings and it deals with fundamental rules, principles and theories. It deals with individuals' sensory expressions, motivation and memory. Abnormal psychology. It is the study of behavior of abnormal people and individuals suffering from neurosis and psychosis. Developmental psychology. It is the study of growth and development. It is divided into child psychology, adolescent psychology, and adult psychology. Social psychology. It deals with group behavior and interrelationships of people. It includes public opinion, tradition, social institution, practices, customs, and social relations. Differential or individual psychology. It deals with individual differences. It is the study of human beings with respect of intelligence, interest, personality traits, and races. Physiological psychology. It is the study of biological and physiological basis of behavior. Experimental psychology. It is the study of mental processes through use of scientific method under controlled or laboratory setting and particularly experimentation. Educational psychology. It deals with teaching learning process. It is primarily concerned with facilitating the process whereby educational goals can be achieved. It provides prospective teachers with principles, insights, and attitudes as point of departure for effective teaching. It helps the classroom teacher to understand the learner, maintain discipline, and provide suitable learning environment. It is the branch of applied psychology. Educational psychology deals only with application and not with theory. It deals with problem of individual differences, creativity, mental health and intelligence and motivation. Clinical psychology. It involves assessment, diagnosis, treatment of mental, emotional and behavioral disorders. It explains causes of abnormal behavior of individuals. Industrial psychology. It applies the psychological principles, theories, and techniques for study of human behavior in relation to the industrial environment. Military psychology. It deals with use of psychological principles, techniques in the field of military activities. Legal psychology. It is the study of behavior of clients, criminals, and witnesses. Methods of psychology. There are two types of methods of psychology. They are observation method and exposition method. Observation methods, introspection method, observation or extrospection method, experimental method, case study method. Exposition methods, case history method, survey method, clinical method, experimental method, genetic method, interview method, psychophysical method, psychoanalytic method, comparative method. Introspection method. It is the collection of data about conscious experiences of the subject. Propounded by E.B. Tishner, it is the oldest method of psychology. Introspection originated from Latin words. Intro means within or inward, spection means looking. Introspection method means a self-observation. It is also called as a looking within oneself to experience one's own mental state. It is the subjective observation method or self-observation. This method introduced by structuralists. It is criticized by behaviorists. Merits of introspection method. It helps to understand one's own mental status. It gives direct and immediate insight into one's own mental processes. It provides knowledge to know about internal behavior of individual. It helps to understand one's own self and improve one's own style of functioning. Observation method propounded by J.B. Watson. Observation means looking outside oneself. It is objective, reliable, and systematic method. In psychology, observation means perceiving, analyzing, and interpreting the behavior of individual. It is useful in personality assessment. It is objective observation and naturalistic observation. This method used in developmental psychology, child psychology, clinical psychology, and educational psychology. Observation means it is the study of cause and effect of overt behavior of an individual. It is the simple and economical method. Types of observation method: natural or non-participant or uncontrolled observation, participant or partly controlled observation or artificial observation. Natural observation. The observer observes the behavioral characteristics of the subject in natural settings. For example, the teacher will observe the behavior of her students in natural settings, like when does he lose his patience, when does he behave when he is frustrated. Partly controlled observation. In this type of observation, the observer becomes the part of the group which he want to observe. For example, teacher observing the behavior of his students like physical education training. In this example, teacher also part of the group because he is the trainer and he tells them to run, jump, and here teacher sets the activity but student perform differently and he observes their energy, skills and teamwork. And one more example is in teaching, drawing, dancing and music. Controlled observation. In this type of observation, observer observes the behavior of an individual in controlled situation or in laboratory settings. Experimentation method. It is the scientific, reliable and systematic and objective method. Wilhelm Wundt is the German psychologist. He conducted first experiment in psychology. He set up a psychological laboratory at Leipzig, Germany in 1879. This method is precise, planned, systematic and controlled observation. The key factor of this method is control of the conditions or variables. It is used to establish cause-effect relationship. Control of the variables is the important feature of experiment method. There are many types of variables, but let us understand the main types of variables. They are independent variable, dependent variable and intervening variable. Independent variable means cause, what we change. Dependent variable means effect, what we measure. Intervening variable means comes between cause and effect. It is the middle factor. Okay, let us understand variables through example. Independent variable is the stimulus. For example, teacher shows a picture of an apple. This is the stimulus because teacher can change the picture. Instead of apple, she can show the picture of banana. We can change something however we want. This is the independent variable. Dependent variable, it means effect. Here response is the dependent variable. The reaction or behavior shown after the stimulus. Student says this is an apple after seeing the picture. So response is dependent variable because it is depending on the independent variable, that is stimulus. Intervening variable, something inside the person that comes between stimulus and response. For example, teacher shows an apple picture. In this example, intervening variable is student's memory or understanding. If memory is strong, they will say correct answer. If memory is weak, they will give wrong answer. So, it is depending on memory or understanding of the student. Steps of experimentation: selection of a problem, defining the problem, formulating hypothesis, selecting an appropriate experimental design, selection of sample, conducting the experiment and data collection, analysis of data, verification of hypothesis, drawing conclusions. Case study, it means collecting data from number of sources and integrated in order to understand and solve the problem of an individual. In case study, subject's relationship with his parents, teachers and friends is understood with the help of questionnaires, interview and observation. Case study helps to depth analysis of a problematic individual, and it helps to find the causes of behavioral problems and to take remedial measures, and it helps to understand individuals behavior problems. Case study was first introduced in sociology by Frederick Lepley and later widely used in psychology by Sigmund Freud. Steps in case study: identification and defining a problem, collection of information or data from different sources, descriptive analysis of data, identifying the causes for the problem, suggesting and planning remedial measures, implementing remedial program, evaluation of remedial program. Schools of psychology, they are structuralism, functionalism, behaviorism, gestalt psychology, psychoanalysis, humanistic psychology, cognitive psychology, and constructivism. Structuralism, it was founded by Edward B. Titchener, who was a student of Wilhelm Wundt. It is the study of experience or consciousness. It is the first school of psychology. It tries to understand the structure of mind by studying its three basic elements, which are physical sensations, feelings, images such as memories and dreams. The main method of structuralism is introspection. Functionalism, propounded by William James, it is the study of functions. Behaviorism, John B. Watson. Behaviorism focuses on observable behavior. Gestalt psychology, Max Wertheimer is the father of Gestalt psychology. Gestalt psychology focuses on the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Gestalt means form, shape, configuration. Psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud, it focuses on unconscious mind, instincts, childhood experiences. Humanistic psychology, Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow. This psychology focuses on self, growth, free will, self actualization. Cognitive psychology, Piaget and others, it focuses on thinking, memory, problem solving, and information processing. Some characteristics of constructivism are: learners construct their own knowledge by connecting new ideas with their own experiences. For example, if a teacher tells children water can be solid, liquid, gas, the child may not really understand deeply. But if the child touches ice, sees water boil, and watches steam, then they connect their own experience with what they are told. This way, they build their own knowledge by linking new information with their past experience. Second one, it is the child centered. It is focuses on the child, not just on the teacher or the textbook. The child is always active learner. They are not passive, they are always active. Here teacher only guides instead of giving all the answers. Learning depends on the child's experience and prior knowledge. Every child can learn in their own way and own pace. Collaboration. Learning happens through discussion and sharing with others. Problem solving. Learners try to solve problems and think critically. Stanley Hall introduced the questionnaire method, DFT books, clinical method, Wilhelm Wundt, first psychology lab, Arnold Gesell, child psychologist, J.B. Watson is the father of modern behaviorism. Behaviorism, it means learning as the acquisition of stimulus response pairs. Cognitivism, learning as the processing of information. Constructivism, learning as the construction of knowledge. Skinner said educational psychology is that branch of psychology which deals with teaching and learning. Crow and Crow. Educational psychology describes and explains the learning experiences of an individual from birth through old age. Wilhelm Wundt was the father of psychology. E.L. Thorndike was the father of educational psychology. John Henry Festology, first school of teacher training. Friedrich Froebel, kindergarten system of education.